if you are ready to awaken to the truth of who you really are, to activate the power within you, and to become the fully conscious creator of your reality, you're in exactly the place you need to be today. This week on Aleckson TV, we are talking about inner personalities, the helpful ones, the unhelpful ones, the neutral ones, and how to ensure that you're not being led by the unhelpful ones and that it is the helpful ones that are guiding you through your life. I'm Aleckson. I am the soul speaker, giving a voice to the power within and helping you to become fully empowered and live a highly conscious life. Let me talk to you now about inner personalities and what I mean by an inner personality. You might recognise them as being archetypes that many people talk about, but if you know me at all, you know that I really like to keep things incredibly simple. And so for me, I refer to them as inner personalities, and they're much more simple than, say, an archetype. Now, as I mentioned, we have three types of inner personality. We have the helpful personality, the unhelpful personality, and we have a neutral personality. So let me explain what each of those are. Let me start first of all with the neutral personality, because it really doesn't matter in the equation of the whole thing. I just think it's important that you understand the difference. An inner personality that we would refer to as a neutral personality could be, for instance, the part of you or the personality within you that drives your car. Now, you didn't always have this inner personality, but what's happened is that when you came of age and you decided to start driving a car, you went and you had lessons and you learned how to do it. And then you started doing it. First of all, it was a bit awkward. You putting one foot somewhere and changing the gears at the same time, and it was all a little bit clumsy and awkward. But after a few months or years, it simply became second nature to you. In fact, aren't there times when you're going somewhere and you get in the car and you get to the place you're going and you kind of go, how did I get here? I can't even remember making the trip. Which way did I come? Were there any green lights? I just kind of got in the car and got here. And that's because your life in that time is being led by your neutral personality of the car driver. So now that we know about the neutral inner personality, let's talk about the helpful and the unhelpful. Pretty self-explanatory titles, aren't they? As I said, I like to keep things simple. So you have your helpful personalities, and they're those parts inside you that encourage you, that walk with you along your path, that give you guidance on where you want to go to. You could certainly call your soul an inner personality that is helpful to you, or your higher self. And then we have those little buggers that we call the unhelpful inner personalities. They're unhelpful because at this point in time, as a grown-up, they're not serving you and serving your best interests. Now, they didn't always start out that way. They started out as helpful personalities. In other words, you had an experience at some point in your life and you reacted to that experience in some way. And it's usually a negative experience, and there's a lot of emotion around it. And in the moment of all that emotion and negativity of something that felt bad to you, you created inside your personality that was created in order to ensure that you didn't have that experience again. It was created to ensure that you didn't have that experience again. So now you might understand why, as you're waking up, as you're walking the road less travelled and doing personal development and spiritual development and tapping into who you really are and the greatness within you, you will understand why they now are unhelpful, because they've created behaviours in you, and again they're habitual behaviours within you that react to certain situations. So if you're in a situation that seems in any way like the reason that this unhelpful personality was created, then it's going to take control of your consciousness. And it's going to ensure that you don't walk into that situation. Unfortunately, most of the time when it's feeling that energy and thinking that this is again one of those negative experiences, in actual fact, as you're on this road less travelled, you're stepping into something greater, and it feels like that experience, but we all know it's not. So, the reason we're talking about inner personalities is to say to you that if you're being led by your inner personalities, then you're living a life less than you could be living. And I know that you're here for greatness. I know that you're walking the road less travelled, and I know that you're on a path of development and you want to be more, you want to have more, you want to do more in the world. So it's time to ask those unhelpful inner personalities to take a rest, essentially, to go and sit on a park bench somewhere. Or if it's an inner child, to go and play in the park. And allow you and your helpful personalities, the opposites of your unhelpful personalities, to start living your life. And the way that you do that is you simply know that you're having these experiences. If you're having a habitual reaction to something, then that's an indication. Take a moment to go inside, to look at that, find out what's going on, and then have a conversation with that inner personality. It's all about using your imagination. Our imagination is incredibly important on this road less travelled. Have a conversation with that part of you that isn't being helpful, and ask it to allow its opposite, the helpful personality, to come to the fore and to start working with you. Because you're all grown up now, there's nothing to fear, and you're doing okay. And so then have a conversation with its opposite. For instance, if you have a scared inner child, then start working with the excited inner child. If you have an inner poor man, as I did, then start having a conversation with its opposite, the inner rich man. You see where I'm going. And you get to make all of these names up for yourself. Whatever works for you. So that's it about the inner personalities. Now don't forget to go to AnneAlecksonTV.com, download your journal page, but I've also put a little bonus there, which is some more information about the inner personalities and how I came to know about them. Next week on Anne Aleckson TV, I'm going to share with you a little information about this superpower that every single one of us has. And I'm going to specifically speak to those who are weakened by this superpower, just as Superman is weakened when he is in front of kryptonite. This superpower can be your greatest power, or it can be your kryptonite. And I'm going to show you how to go from it being your kryptonite to being a superpower that you have. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.